Last question of the day. Look, some would say Arsenal was the biggest test. I think we passed it with flying colours. A lot of people, though, I think all three of us maybe are on this train on this particular chat. I don't know how we're going to do devil's advocate on this one, but for me, Liverpool is the biggest test. For me, Liverpool, if anybody's going to push, and I saw Wolvesy, big up Wolvesy. It gets around the channels. I saw him say earlier, maybe the truest statement that there is no title race this year because it's just a one-team train, a runaway train of excellence. And that's probably the case. So those who come second get the bragging rights of the best of the rest. For me, Liverpool have absolutely come out of the traps flying. They've rebuilt their midfield in the summer, and it's the most difficult area of the pitch to rebuild if you're doing it all at the same time. And they've absolutely they've nailed it. And Jurgen Klopp has been there and done it, and he's fighting strong. So for me, Tottenham at home against Liverpool. Liverpool are fully fit. I don't think they have a single injury, as far as I'm aware, to worry about. We don't know what we're going to be doing with injuries. We'll find out over the next couple of days. Dave, I'll start with you, mate. How do we get something out of this game? And what, I'll let you run with it.
Yeah. Look, obviously this is pre-injury, so you'll have to come and listen to me again after I find out what the injury news is. My opinion could change. But look, I think the biggest thing for us, Sean, is that defense. That's where Liverpool have been able to get us in years gone by. Mo Salah, he's had it so handy down there at Tottenham's left-hand side, during his time at Liverpool with the players we've had there. But we need another massive, massive game from the big dog, Udogie. Another massive game. I thought he done very well up against Saka, even with the yellow card. I actually thought he eliminated him a lot out of the game, bar him dropping off, allowing him to get that shot in. I thought he done well. Can he do the same with Mo Salah? If he does, that's one part. But then you still got big noodles up front. Darwin Núñez. You still got the likes of Jota if he comes off the bench. Szoboszlai, absolutely phenomenal player. So that back line is going to have to absolutely be on it. And same with Venom Vicario. In possession, I don't really worry about us too much. I'm confident about us in possession. Now, I think we've got technical players right throughout the team. We can cut anyone open because everyone's good on the ball. Everyone can make passes. So I'm not really worried about that. Midfield battle for me is, and a lot of people have heard me say this last season. For me, football, when I was growing up, you win the midfield battle, you dominate the game, you usually go on to win the game. And I think that old saying is starting to come back true again now.
I agree.
In years gone by, especially the last 3 to 4 years, their midfield have had a lot more energy than us, a lot more bite than us. Well, this time we'll put up a good fight. I don't think it's going to be all one-way Liverpool, but what I will say about them is they find a way to get it done against Tottenham, and they always have done. Always do. I remember there was a goal given where I think Mo Salah handballed it in the build-up to it. Every other time, that's not given, but it was given to him. They always get that look. And we haven't beaten them at the new stadium. But records are there to be broken. That's the mentality of the team we now have. That's the mentality of Postecoglou. Right. So they won't worry about not beating Liverpool at the new stadium yet. All that will be cleared out the dressing room. They'll be looking at going out and how can they implement them style. And with Ange Postecoglou, he'll also be looking at it. How can I compare myself against Klopp? How can I come out the winner? And I have no doubt, that's what he wants. He wants to be able to come out of the game with people talking about Postecoglou again, not about Jurgen Klopp. For me, I think this will be a fascinating game. I don't think it's going to be one way or the other. I think it's going to be end-to-end, two teams battling very hard for possession, and it's just going to be a rock and roll game, rock and roll football from both teams. I'm actually really, really looking forward to it. However, I am nervous because they always get the rub of the green.
Dave, let me stick with you for a quick second before I come to Johnny. You did mention, obviously, pending injury issues. If we do have full strength, absent Brennan Johnson, we know he's not going to be available, or in all likelihood, and no Perisic. 2 questions for you. If we have Maddison fit and Sonny fit, do we start with the same team as Arsenal, but just the only natural swap is Solomon back in for Johnson? And the second question is, if there is an injury to Maddison, how do you want to structure our front five in that regard?
Oh, look, if there's an injury to Maddison, it makes a complete different game, right? Look, is Gil Messi fit enough to come in and play that number 8? For me, provides you a lot of energy. I think he's good on the ball as well.
Or you play Gil Messi central, would you? If he's fit, you might consider playing him centrally.
I'd consider it if he's fit.
He's not fit though, is he?
He's not 100% fit. He's back in training this week. I know that, but let's probably won't start.
Would you move Kulusevski central? Richarlison
in there. I'll put Solomon in there. Personally.
Solomon central.
Yeah, I'll put him in as that number 8 where Maddison. He can play that role. He's good on the ball. He's got a good pass. He's got good vision. I think.
And then Richarlison on the left. Yeah, would that be Richarlison on the left?
That's all it leaves us with, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're threadbare again at the top.
Then Sonny on the left, Richarlison through the middle, because Richarlison, he will be up for that game against Liverpool due to the Everton connection. There will be, that feeling in amongst them, and I do think even if you bring him off the bench, I think he might bag one. He done it last season, but it was ruled offside. I think there's a possibility he could do it again. But look, it all depends on injuries, Shawnee. Even if Brennan Johnson was fit, I would still bring Solomon back in anyway. I don't think Brennan Johnson has as a good game as many people are making him out to be.
I actually agree. Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah. I watched the game back the full 90 minutes yesterday, and because I came out of it, like I said to you before, the Emirates, the viewpoint is difficult. And if I'm entirely honest, like as much as I love going to games, I always feel like I get a better take on the game when I'm watching it on the telly. I don't feel like I can take everything in quite brilliantly, or effectively rather, when I'm watching it from the stands, wherever I'm watching it. But I watched the game yesterday, and I think you're absolutely spot on. I don't think Brennan Johnson helped out Udogie at all in the first half, and Udogie did brilliantly.
Shocking.
Yeah, I thought he left him alone. I thought Udogie, with 15 minutes in the yellow card, Brennan Johnson should have been someone should have said to Brennan, "Get yourself back there, bro."
Well, he did.
When he did, he cut through the line of defense that Udogie was looking at Saka to track Ben White.
He lost track of him. And
naive. Super naive. So I agree with Dave. Manor Solomon should come back in ahead of Brennan Johnson, even if Brennan Johnson's fit, but I don't think he is. Johnny, I'll come to you, mate. How do we get 3 points against Liverpool?
Listen, I think the interesting one is going to be more Salad versus Destiny. And I think, he's going to play him. He's going to do all the Mo tricks, throwing his arms up in the air, appealing to the referee. This is a very, very, very difficult game, right? I don't know. I saw some there got a weak midfield. No, they haven't.
No.
The Bitsai, Gravenbach, they are better for Henderson. McAllister. When you look at their attack, Darwin, Diaz, Nunez, Jota, Capco.
They can be got out down the fullbacks though, right? I think whenever I hear these things, Johnny, I'll come back to you right now. Just quickly, whenever I hear about these, and I was guilty of doing it all week for the Arsenal game. When people are asking me what's going to determine the outcome, I was like, well, seeing individual battles. How does Udogie do against Saka? How does
he said
Martinelli do? Yeah, I almost said it as well, right? Yeah, exactly. How does Martinelli or Trossard fare against Porro? But it seems like Tottenham, maybe it's just me, but we have this kind of natural thought process of when we're playing against these bigger teams, quote, bigger teams, we have to worry so much more about how our defense is going to handle against theirs, rather than also considering, what is Trent Alexander-Arnold? Is he really going to be able to handle Udogie getting forward and supporting Manor Solomon?
Exactly.
Is Robertson really going to be able to handle Kulusevski on a strength? I don't think he can. Robertson's a great player, but Kulusevski will sort of body him for 90 minutes, and I think that we've got as much opportunity to threaten them at the back as they have. I think that the midfield battles, they've got a very strong midfield. So do we, if we're all fully fit, and their forward line is brilliant. But I think that if we get the ball, if we can control possession, get the ball forward slowly, I think we've got every chance, haven't we, Johnny?
I just think this is the hardest game we've played. I know everyone goes about Arsenal. When I've been saying this even before the Arsenal game, people thought I was mad. Look, Dick Van Dijk is back. I'm not quite sure how he got back, because did he not get a straight red and then get an extended ban? So I'm not quite sure how he was back for the last game. I don't know what happened there. Maybe
should have been a 3-game ban or 2-game ban, right?
I thought it was a 3-game ban for a red card, for a straight red.
Straight red is 2. No, a straight red is 2.
Plus,
and then you get the 1 extra for the arguing.
Yeah, so 3-game. I didn't realise because he was back. He was back for the last game. But look, that we can get at Trent Arnold, and as I said, Dick Van Dijk is not as great as he once was. This is a really, really, really tough game. I again do worry. I don't have an agenda. Pedro Porro on that right hand side. They will target him. Whatever you want to say, there was a moment where Saka crossed that ball, and he did his pantomime defending a bit. In that first half, and he's behind you, and you didn't notice. That's his weakness. That's his weakness. His game has improved immensely. He's got better and better and better. I hold my hands up. I got a lot of that wrong. But
who's this Porro? Sorry,
Porro? Yeah, Porro. But I still feel that's his weakness.
I think everybody got Porro wrong, apart from Dave.
I was quite vocal. I got to be honest with you. Before he signed, I was vocal, and before his debut at Leicester, I said, "Batten down the hatches, prepare for disaster." Because he can't defend. So when it happened, Anyway, look,
he's learning though. He's learning the art of defence, and he's got the support of Pape Sarr on the right, which helps. He's improving because he's that prison guard. For me,
warrior, setting up. If I would definitely, for me, either put Kulu. For me, I would be doing one of two things. I would either be playing Richarlison on the left and Sonny through the middle, right? And I would be playing Kulu on the left, right? And I would be playing Porro on the right-hand side as the winger. And I would be bringing in Emerson Royal to play right back. So to give it some defensive solidity, right? Porro who can cross the ball. And between Sonny and Richarlison, they can swap positions. They don't need to be rigid positions. They can swap between one and the other coming inside. But with Porro, and that's what I would do. Potentially that's what you could do. You could play either Son or Richarlison through the middle. These are things that we can change in game. But make no mistake about it. Liverpool are going to come at us. They're going to come at us in droves. Not, Arsenal were missing a centre forward. Let's be serious. If they had a top number 9, Arsenal probably would have won the title last year. And this season, you've seen it. They've had plenty of chances, but they're not finishing their dinner. Liverpool, you cannot give. If we give Liverpool as many chances as we gave to Arsenal and to Man United, they will bury us. And so be prepared. If we come through this unscathed, again, another draw, I'll be happy with a draw, right? A draw at home to Liverpool is not anything to be sniffed at. Going into an easier run of games, I will take it.
One thing I have actually noticed about Liverpool though is they do give up chances very early in the game. And that's been a common theme over a number of games this season with them. There was one against Bournemouth they gave up early, a couple against West Ham that they gave up early, and there's a couple of other games in there as well. So for me, I think we spoke about slow starts earlier on. Sort of being a second half team. This one, if we can start from minute 1, we could find ourselves 1-0 up very, very quickly if the right chance presents itself. And then from there, then we can grow into the game and take it. But for me, I think it's imperative we start fast because we will get an early chance if you look at some of the starts that they've had to other games.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing we have to Sabitsai. Well, I can never say his name. Slobozai. My son was going on for me. He used to do a bit of Y scouting for an agent, and he was going on about him when he was a young kid. I think he was about 17, he was raving about this kid's going to be the next big thing, and I didn't really listen.
Of course.
Here he is at Liverpool.
He's an absolute classy player. How much did they pay for him? It wasn't a lot, was it?
it's going to be
30 mil, yeah. The argument's out there. Who was the signing of the summer? Was it Maddison or not? And the only other person that I think
It's him.
Him, isn't it? It's him or Maddison, basically. Look, guys, we've got a lot. I mean, we're only on Tuesday, so on this channel, at least, I'm sure on Dave and I'm sure on Johnny Spaces, there's going to be a lot more time to talk about Liverpool. But all of our thoughts right now are based on not knowing what our injury issues are. I personally think if we are fully fit with the absence of Perisic, someone was saying that in the comments a minute ago that Brennan's only got like a tight hammy, so maybe he could make the bench. But for me, either way, I think that Tottenham, if Maddison's fit and Sonny's 100, if those guys are 100% fit, I'm up for it. I think that we're going to do just as well as they can. Again, I totally agree with your points, Johnny. If we give up too many early chances against, sooner or later, we're going to get punished that we haven't yet been for our sort of slow, sloppy starts. But what I do know is that as long as we're only 1-0 down, we're always going to come back and fight and not going to, if we go 2-0 down, that's a situation we haven't faced yet. But Liverpool away or home is one of the toughest games of our year. And I can't wait for it. So I will see you guys all there. If you're in the comments and you're going, make sure you know, just for what it's worth, that after the game, if you're coming outside the south stand, look right, look towards the blue shells that are where the toilets are, and you'll see me there with the mic stand, the camera stand. Come over and get your thoughts off your chest. But we'll be talking about that all week.